Welcome to Meaningful Measurable Marketing, a podcast from the dynamic duo at Data Dames Marketing. I'm Jen Carroll.
I'm Annalisa Hilliard.
If you like what you hear today, you can find us on social media. I'm on Twitter at Jen C. Writer.
And I'm at A. Hilliard M.
And you can also find us on LinkedIn. So today we are starting a 4-part series in our podcast called
Yes, But in Digital Marketing.
Okay.
Bad joke.
Why is it a bad joke?
It just sounded bad, I guess. Yes, buts.
So explain.
I think we think we're like hilarious and cool, but people listening are probably like, okay.
this.
Yes, buts. Yeah, probably that.
Okay. Why don't you explain how we came up with the idea of yes buts in digital marketing?
How did we? That was a couple days ago. I don't remember anything from
So the
a couple
idea
days ago.
So wow. Okay, so the idea is
Right now I remember.
okay.
As soon as you said that, the idea. No, it was so things that you should do, but you need to take certain things into consideration in doing them.
Yeah,
Now correct me.
What?
Now you're gonna correct me.
No.
go ahead.
No. I was just trying to go back to the conversation. When
Make
the
it
idea
sound better.
No, the idea when people say, "Hey, should I do paid advertising?" Our first response is often yes.
But
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
good example.
today we're going to focus on paid advertising. And by that, we're talking about search engine marketing and social ads. Why? I was thinking to myself, you're an SEO and I'm a content writer. So why are we starting with paid advertising, which is actually something we don't do a whole lot of, although I do run social ad campaigns. But What's the reason for starting with paid?
This has come up quite a few times lately with clients, and so we thought it would be a good place to start.
Okay, so each episode we have a little segment we call Small Business Shoutouts, where we talk about some there we go. We talk about other small business owners that we think are doing some great things. So today we're going to mention our friends, Connie Collins and Jenny Young.
Mm-hmm.
Connie Collins goes by Connie Collins LLC, which is, I believe, her web address. Mm-hmm. She is a writer, creative, and does a lot of work to help companies in the branding area
Tell their story.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Find their story.
Yeah, she would say that's what she is she's a storyteller and helping companies write. I'm trying to remember what she says. Write their story on the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny is a great partner with Connie in her work. Jenny is a very creative videographer. So you can find Jenny at She Did It Video. Yeah. So we recommend Connie and Jenny.
They work collaboratively and they also work individually. So.
Right. So you can contact them, for both and.
Absolutely.
Or but, or how does that go?
Yes, but
yes,
no,
but.
no, there's no buts with them.
Okay. Well, I don't know. They both have butts. What are you saying?
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All
right. My terrible jokes. All right. So let's dive into the heart of what we were going to talk about today. And there are 3 considerations when you're considering paid advertising online, or I guess it could even be traditionally, but we're going to be focusing obviously on online paid advertising. What your goals are, meaning what kind of conversions do you want to get from those ads? What's your budget? And what gains can you expect from paid advertising online? So
Let's
let's
kick it off
let's-
by defining
search engine marketing.
and social ads.
All right. Well, you hit the search engine marketing piece.
So search engine marketing is on the search engine side. So it includes a lot of different types of advertising.
And I think this is where people get really lost
Right.
right away.
The main one is obviously ads within the search engine results. So typically when you do a search, the first couple of results that come up as you scroll the page are paid ads. And they're usually marked, sometimes conspicuously, that it's an ad. And then there are other types within that. There's remarketing, which is basically you can remarket to people that have engaged with you prior at some point in time.
And when you mean engaged with you, we're talking about engaged with you on your website, or
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then there's like display ads, which are you can
Right.
display your ads on related websites to either your audience, people that you believe are worth targeting, or websites that are industry related websites.
And those are the ones that people think of as creepy, where they kind of follow you around. If you've visited a website, their ads will then start popping up on other websites you visit.
Right. And you have to be signed into your Google account and have certain settings, which I think are mostly default settings in your browser, that is allowing you to be tracked via cookies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then there's the whole part, actually, I don't know how much we want to get into it, but before we jump to social ads, but that's affiliate marketing, where you essentially pay to have your links on somebody else's website, and then every time somebody clicks on the link, comes to your website.
Yeah, a good example of that would be with Amazon. Anyone that links to a product on Amazon from their website or blog can get a really, really small percentage
really small
of that traffic conversion from Amazon. So,
all right. So social ads, again, those are ads on social media platforms. Most, if not all, social media platforms offer these. They vary in price, with, generally speaking, Facebook and Instagram being the most affordable. LinkedIn can get pretty expensive. Twitter is also very expensive comparatively. And I'm actually not familiar with the cost on some of the newer platforms like Snapchat and those.
Instagram is probably similar to Facebook.
Well, they're not just similar. They are one and the same,
Okay.
because Facebook owns Instagram. And when you're in the...
So it's just one platform that you use?
Yes, correct. It's the ads. Yes, Facebook's ads manager platform, and you can run all of your Facebook and Instagram ads from that one platform, which is something that I do for several clients. But the difference with social ads and search engine, the difference between the two, I feel, is intent. When somebody is coming to a search engine and typing in a particular words or phrases, they have intent to find that thing, whereas social ads are just kind of placed in front of you, kind of like traditional newspaper ads and traditional radio ads in some ways, except that the targeting is hyper focused because of all the information that social media gets about its users. So again, hopefully those explanations were helpful. Obviously, some people may have varying degrees of understanding of that, but we do continue to talk with people who really don't, understand some of those basic differences. So hopefully that's helpful to some of our listeners. So goals and conversions.
So one key element to doing social ads and search engine marketing is to set goals and know what conversions you want to track.
And this goes back to what we said at the very beginning about meaningful, measurable marketing. If you're thinking about doing paid advertising and you don't know what you want to measure or what matters, or you put that decision in the hands of a third party, you may find yourself, spending a lot of money on these ads and not having much to show for it.
Sure. And also, I think it leads to spreading yourself too thin sometimes. Like if you don't have a focus, obviously you're spending money on these ads and you want to make sure that, you have a very targeted approach to getting those conversions that you want.
Yeah. And maybe this is a good place to talk about the buyer's journey and where they are in the process when you're thinking of paid advertising. One of the things that I feel like we've noticed when we have dived into the data on some of our clients' paid advertising is that the conversions that it's usually a third-party company the conversions they're tracking sometimes are like, time on page or
pages per session.
Yeah, pages per session, and those are more awareness types of data, and yet that's
which is like at the top of the conversion funnel.
Buyer's journey.
Buyer's journey.
Yeah, so the buyers are just at an awareness point, but that's, again, when you're looking at the cost, and paid advertising can be quite expensive. When you're looking at the cost, you want to be attracting the people who are ready to buy, and then when they, and we talk about landing pages, so when they land on your site, is that page set up to actually convert them to to do what you want them to do, which is in most cases contact you or to buy something, to fill out a form, to make a phone call, to send an email.
All right, let's move on to budget.
Right, so part 1, goals and conversions, part 2, budget. And I've already alluded to the fact that search engine ads and social ads can be costly. Often, and maybe we should talk a little bit about why search engine ads in particular can be so costly, because there is a whole bidding side to actually all of those different types of ads we talked about earlier. There's kind of a bidding war that goes on out there.
Yeah, so just because you have an ad doesn't mean you're going to come up for a given term. I mean, you can target those terms, but obviously, there's competition, and some keywords obviously have more competition, but there's always competition, and, they take into consideration like click-through rates, and so that goes back to like how the ads are written, and if they're attracting clicks. And there's other things that are considered as well, like bounce rate and things like that, kind of in the bidding or positioning of ads.
And it's important to figure out what your cost per lead is. So how many times or how many visitors do you have to bring to your page before you get a conversion, and then knowing what the value of that conversion is, within your business. Yeah. So those are things that you need to define before you jump into a paid advertising campaign.
All right. So just like a simple example would be like if you're selling a $5 t-shirt and you're paying, $30 to get one conversion on that $5 t-shirt, then you're losing.
Right. And, maybe, another example is, you want to get somebody to call you or to complete a form. And, again, if it costs, $30 to get that lead, but eventually that most of your leads end up being like, a $1,500 value because, I don't know, they buy into your, into a program that you have that's that of value, then you're saying, oh, well, I know that $30 is just a fraction of what that lead could become.
Absolutely.
So the other big part about with the search engine marketing and social ads are what do you gain? So we've talked about knowing your goals and what conversions you want to set. We've talked about, really getting a grip on your budget. Let's talk about the gains. So as marketers, we often talk about the long game and the short game. And
paid ads fall into the short game.
For sure. And this is one of the reasons that, it's an important topic in our yes buts is, should I do paid advertising? Yes, but how do short-term gains fall into your total marketing plan? Mm-hmm. Because once you run a campaign and then you turn it off, the traffic that was generated is gone. It's not going to magically come back. So it's kind of here today and gone tomorrow.
And on the other hand, obviously if you're trying to get quick wins or quick sales, or, you need to get in front of people more immediately, then obviously paid ads are going to be the better approach for short-term wins. Yeah.
And obviously the flip side of the short game in marketing, which is these paid ads, the long game is actually what we're going to talk about in our next podcast, in our next Yes But podcast, and that's going to be on search engine optimization, which is one of Annalisa's areas of expertise. And so just to kind of recap again, I've kind of been doing the recap throughout, but
you're better at the recap.
It's because I was a teacher.
There we go.
Right?
There it is.
There it is. I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher. I guess I'm always a teacher. Wow. Man. Okay. So should you do paid advertising? Yes, but you need to define your goals and your conversions. You definitely need to have an understanding of your budget, and then if short-term gains are actually what you need, what you're looking for right now. So we're going to conclude our podcasts now with a new segment, but it won't be new for long.
Next time it won't be new.
It won't be new. All right. Wait, I don't know which button to press. There we go. What are we learning? Because that's one of our values as a company.
And as individuals.
Yeah, is to always be learning. So, Annalisa?
Yeah, so I've been learning I would say present, but future of Google Analytics. They have a new platform that is available in beta. So it's testing, it's looking at patterns. So let's say you have, traffic that comes from a certain medium, like organic traffic. You can dig down even further, like a specific demographic of organic traffic. And then you want to see like what types of engagement they have on your site. And so it makes groups of visitors, and it gives you insights that way, which is different from the Google Analytics approach that the current platform has. So it is new. I am learning about it. Obviously, a lot to learn.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, so how does this fit in with data privacy? That's such a big emphasis right now in the industry.
Yeah, so the current Google Analytics, again, has a more individual level data collection, whereas Google App Plus Web groups various users together. So, and that, again, that's in line with privacy. More and more people are concerned, and obviously laws have been put in place for this data collection at an individual level. And yeah, so App Plus Web, pretty cool. You can use both platforms, and so I'm testing it out on some clients to kind of learn the ropes. And also, the sooner you can start collecting data, the better. So yeah, setting that up and then collecting data for the future and learning as I go.
Nice. What am I learning? I am going completely in a different direction today. I am actually reading a book called Trouble I've Seen by Drew Hart, who is a professor at Messiah. I don't know if it's university or college, but it's a very hard look at racism, and in that it was actually written I don't know how many years ago, just I want to say like 2017 maybe, and it really sheds an incredible amount of light on why we're seeing what we're seeing nationally with protests. And I just really appreciate his viewpoint. It's actually teaching me a lot about myself and things that I have been ignorant about. So I highly recommend his book, Trouble I've Seen by Drew Hart, for a heart check, for sure.
I see what you did there.
Okay. I had to get one more of those in. Sorry, bad joke. So we've wrapped up another episode of Meaningful Measurable Marketing. I'm Jen Carroll.
And I'm Annalisa Hilliard.
We look forward to talking with you next time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about SEO in the long game.
You'll be so excited.
Woo!